Hello YouTube, hello Internet, it's RX Guy here. I wanted to take a moment to talk about the 0% credit card offers. More than likely you've received one in the mail. It could have been a discreet envelope that looked like it may contain a check, a rebate check or something like that. Another popular tool is a really flashy picture with people smiling and a really beautiful destination on the front. Credit card companies use all sorts of tactics to get these offers that seem too good to be true into your hands. And I'm not bashing these offers. I'm not saying they're necessarily a negative thing, but I wanted to take a moment to explain why they're not necessarily a positive, and they can actually put someone in a worse financial situation they would be had they just drawn a little bit of interest on a standard credit card. So it always seems that they arrive during a holiday, maybe your birthday, your significant other's birthday, whatever. It seems like it's just like a sign from a higher power. Oh, I needed such and such gift, or I needed such and such toy, and here's my opportunity to get it, and I don't have to pay anything for 6 months or 12 months or 18 months, whatever the offer might be. And that's what these credit card companies feed upon. Of course, they have all of your personal information anyway, so when you get an offer from one credit card company, you're probably going to get it from another, and so forth and so on. They know your date of birth, they know that you're married, they know your income, they know everything. So they know how to use those tips to try to manipulate you. So how does it work? Well, let's say, for example, that I get a credit card offer and it says 0% interest for 18 months. And your credit line is, and it'll probably specify a limit, it's probably higher than it should be. It may say $7,000 or $8,000 or whatever. There's some people that may not be a lot of money, but to most it is. Now, if someone was smart and they got an 18% no interest offer, say they needed something important, new refrigerator. Let's just use a refrigerator as an example. So taking out, let's say $1,200, doing this 18-month no interest credit card could be beneficial if the person knew going into that they would be able to make at least, let's just say, $100 a month payment. So for a $1,200 fridge, 18 months no interest, that person should easily be able to pay off that 18-month no interest credit card offer, the $1,200, in a year. And then that allows a cushion, because it was did we say 18-month offer? So that would be 8 months extra if for some reason that full $100 wasn't able to be paid during that month. So that's just something to consider. Now, where these offers get dangerous is that when a person bites on one 0% interest credit card, all the other credit card companies seem to be alerted, and they're like, well, you know what? That person was approved for X amount on that 18-month no interest offer. We're going to send them this 12-month offer and approve them. And what happens, it all compounds. So a person that maybe initially only wanted to get in and borrow $1,200 to buy a fridge, then they buy all this other stuff because they're like, well, I was approved for $7,000, so that leaves $5,800 of extra money I can spend, and I don't have to worry about it for 18 months. And then that person may take the other offers from other companies, and it just gets messier and messier. Now, it doesn't get messy until that 0% APR offer expires. So, for example, with the 18-month, let's say the person paid it off in full before 18 months. They wouldn't know, they shouldn't know any interest. But let's say that at the end of 18 months, they still had a balance. Well, this is where it gets really nasty. When those 0% offers are in effect, throughout the course of those 18 months, interest is doing what's called accruing. So although that a person doesn't have to pay interest until the end of the promotional period, which in that example was 18 months, that interest is accruing. So let's say someone only paid the minimum payment. Let's say they bought $3,000 worth on that 18-month offer. Okay, so the end of 18 months, they've done decent. They've managed to pay off $1,500, but they've still got a balance of $1,500 at the end of that 18-month period. So what then happens, all of the interest that was accrued leading up to that 18-month mark, boom, it's all slapped on it at one time. And then from that point forward, they charge whatever interest rate from month to month. Now typically, and this is another way that these 0% interest offers get you, typically the accrued interest is a really high, what's referred to as APR. And I'm not going to use a bunch of terminology. This video is geared towards beginners. But APR is annual percentage rate. It's basically a good way to look at it, and I'm not a financial guru by any means, but a good way to look at it, let's say that someone, for whatever reason, retained a balance throughout a 12, let's say they had a credit card. This is not a no-interest credit card, it's just standard interest. Let's say 12% APR. So if someone that kept a balance of, let's say, $1,000 throughout the course of 12 months on a credit card that had a 12% APR, roughly that person's probably, throughout the course of those 12 months, probably going to pay around $120 or so of interest out of that $1,000 that they kept on the balance of that credit card. But see, what makes the 0% interest different is that, boom, that balance that you have at the end of the promotional period, in our example 18 months, gets slapped on there at once. And then from that point forward, it's probably not drawing it's probably not a 12% APR deal at that point. The interest after the promotional no interest expired is probably going to be a lot higher than the standard credit card. So I mean, it could be 22, 26, 27%. So if you are going to consider, and I'm not saying they're the devil, but if you are going to consider a 0% credit card offer, check to see, of course, what the what the time frame is. Is it 6 months, 12 months, 18 months? Tell yourself, can you comfortably pay that off with a few months cushion? Because you never know. Unexpected things may happen. And then also check the balance. Check to see how much the offer is good for. Of course, you don't want to go anywhere near what they're going to approve you for, because it's likely going to be a lot higher than you should spend. But can it accomplish what you want to accomplish? You need a new dishwasher, $500. Can you get that with a 6-month no interest, to pay $100 a month, give you a month cushion? Would you want to do that? I mean, that's up to you. And then look at all the APR numbers. You know, after it'll say, like, and whatever lingo it may use, but the gist of it is that what is the APR for the accrued interest, should you not be able to pay all of that throughout the course of the promotional period, and then what is the APR after the promotional offer expires? Because likely it's going to be really high. So know what you're getting yourself into, and is it really that much of an advantage, or might it be better just to have a credit card with a low APR, not a deal where it's no interest or anything, but just a standard credit card with a low APR that, hey, if it adds a few bucks interest per month on it, and you really need an item like a dishwasher or whatever, maybe it's worth paying that little bit of interest just to not be potentially stuck with accrued interest plus a very high APR after that, if you're not able to pay something off during a promotional period. And that, again, this is just my opinion. I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm not a financial advisor by any means rather. But I just wanted to share this because I took it upon myself to do a lot of research. I was curious, why I was having to shred all these documents and throw all this junk away from the mail every day. And it's because those credit card companies, they're like, and I'm not targeting any credit card companies. They provide a great service. They enable people to walk around without paper money in pocket and have the ability, if robbed or lost or whatever, you're not losing those paper dollars. You just call the credit card company and they cancel your card. So there's definitely advantages. But they feed on people's emotions, and they definitely do everything they can to come out the winner. And most of the time they do. That's how these credit card companies stay in business. They assume the person's not going to be able to pay off whatever in that amount of time. And one other thing to remember is very important. Also, if you do any of these special offers, check out the make a note in your electronic calendar or regular calendar when you started the offer and when it expires. Because a lot of times when they send you your statements, whether it be electronic or paper, they will fail to include when the promotional APR expires. And I know this because I got stuck one time, and it wasn't anything significant, but it was an appliance store, and I bought what did I buy? I bought I bought a dishwasher actually. And I was paying it off, and then something in my mind, I guess I thought that I'd gotten a 12-month no interest instead of a 6-month. And long story short, because it didn't include those details within the statement each month, I was a few dollars, maybe $12 or $20 shy of paying off the full amount of that item, and I easily could have, but I didn't realize it was about to expire. And the end result of that is that instead of me paying $12, which I could have easily paid, had I been aware that, hey, I need to, go ahead and finish this, paying this off, but I failed to realize that, and it tacked a few $100s onto that, and that was the accrued interest, and it made me so mad because I hate paying interest. But that was what encouraged me to create this video, and hope it's of value. And feel free to check out my other videos on YouTube. I've got a lot of stock market videos. I've got some precious metals videos, travel videos, all kinds of stuff, you name it. And have a good one, and thanks for tuning in.